Our humble pranam, Swamiji, and welcome to our show. It is an immense pleasure to have you as our guest on our show today.
God.
Swamiji, first and foremost, we would like to know when a common man talks about yoga and when he thinks he visualizes yoga, he thinks of a set of exercises. But yoga is probably much more than that. How can a common man benefit from yoga as a tool for physical, mental, and spiritual well being?
It's a very relevant question. Yes, common man thinks that yoga means hatha yoga, physical postures. Hatha yoga has many benefits. It gives flexibility to the body and it helps to develop immunity. But that is not what yoga is all about. Yoga literally means union. Union of this little self with infinite spirit, our real source. That is yoga. Hatha yoga is one branch, initial step you can say. After that, we have to do yoga meditation where we can find our identity with our real self. It's finding our real self within. That is to me is real yoga. That is meditation. How it's going to help? Our ancient rishis are real spiritual scientists.
Right.
By experimentation over centuries, not 1 year or 1 decade, over centuries, they experimented and found one truth. That is, the mind and the breath are related. Mind and breath are related. That is why we find that pranayama techniques, meditation techniques often use some kind of breathing techniques.
Okay.
The purpose of meditation is to attain control of the mind. But that control of the mind we can attain by some breathing techniques also. Because there is relationship between mind and breath. We should be grateful to our ancient rishis who found this connection, more importantly, who discovered some methods of special breathing through which we can attain mind control. When mind is in our control, mental health is assured. If someone is sick mentally, that is because he doesn't have any control over his mind. Thoughts go haywire. He doesn't know what he is thinking. He has no control absolutely. And that control is assured through some kind of pranayama techniques. That's meditation. So that is how yoga, real yoga, meditation helps us to get mind control. Don't you agree that mind is normally always agitated? There are so many things are going on in the mind. In fact, even in sleep, it's not quiet. It keeps dreaming.
Very true.
It's always. And these thoughts may lead to anxieties, emotions, all these things. So, mind control is very important for mental health. And yoga meditation is one tool where we can achieve this mental health.
Swamiji, your journey from being a scientist to a monk, how did that happen? How did yoga draw you to itself, if I could put it that way?
Yes. See, to tell the story, I was doing research at that time at IIT Kharagpur, working for my PhD. Then I approached when Swamiji and asked, I would like to learn meditation. He asked, why do you want meditation? I said, meditation, I heard, improves my concentration. I want more concentration in my research work. I want to learn. Because I was not interested in God. I was not interested in divinity at that time. I was so busy with my work. I just wanted to improve my concentration. He said, fine, but you have to spend 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening.
Okay.
I said, fine, 20 minutes I can easily give. But if I knew that pretty soon I was going to spend longer than 20 minutes, probably I would have never started meditation in my life. Because I was so busy. 20 minutes, fine. Fine. Then I started practicing the Hangsa technique, the first technique which we teach in our organization. Generally, I am focused in life. Once I take something, I do my full attention to it, not just
just doing it superficially and leaving it. Yeah.
No, I took it very seriously. I learned, practiced, spent the 20 minutes in the morning, that much in the evening, day after day after day. Then, by His grace, I was convinced by personal experience of the existence of inner joy and the possibility of contacting that inner joy on a regular basis. See, joy is not something unknown to us. We know we are joyful when we eat some nice food. We are joyful when we meet some person, a nice person we meet, or we hear some good news. We are joyful. But this joy was so different. I mean, nothing happened. It's not because of something. In spite of everything, I can be so joyful inside. That inner joy is a miracle to me, in a way. I would say it's a miracle that there is something like joy inside me. And how do I contact? Through meditation. It is not theory. It's not that I read somewhere. It's not that I heard about it. I experienced it just by practicing. So then the 20 minutes has become 30 minutes, become that 40 minutes on its own. No? Then I felt, what is the joy? Then I started reading this book. Then I started reading. Meditation was the first thing for me. Then I found God is ever new joy. That God is there in each one of us. We can contact Him, experience His presence within us as ever new joy. That's how my journey started. So maybe earlier I was definitely I was a scientist working on radar signals and speech signals, etc. Now I continue to be a scientist, but in spite of being a radar scientist, now I am probably a spiritual scientist exploring that inner realms.
Right.
So I
So
continue.
from an intense science background to yoga, do you find there are any commonalities between science and yoga? Are they the same or are they two different things leading to the same?
Params Yoganji said that in this world, meditation is the most practical science. Meditation is science. See, science, I explain this way. Suppose if I do some puja, some worship, that gives me a lot of satisfaction. That happiness is there. But the same puja may not give similar happiness to someone else. Something else, some other form may be helpful to him or her. Because here emotion is involved. This is not as scientific. But meditation is not that way. It must work for everyone. It's so scientific. Because meditation works on the principle of life force within me. The principle of life force is universal. If principle of life, that life force worked 5,000 years ago to someone like Arjun, 2,000 years ago to someone like Jesus Christ, and 600 years ago to some saint, 300 years ago to some other saint, it must work for me and for you too. Because that principle of life force has not changed. Our understanding has improved. So that is why I say it is scientific. Because 3 plus 4 equals 7 for Indians, Americans, Australians, Hindus, Muslims, Christians. 3 plus 4 equals 7. It's mathematical, it's science. Similarly, meditation is science. If you do this, if you work on your breath like this, it must produce the definite results. That is science. So meditation is most practical science. It's appealing to me. It's not that I take it on emotional grounds for granted. It's through experience. You practice meditation, then you will see whether it works or not.
So, Swamiji, in these troubling and challenging times of the pandemic COVID-19, how can a common man benefit from yoga?
Very relevant question. Not only now, it's relevant at all times in a way. See, pain and suffering are something thrust on us by circumstances over which we have no control often. Isn't it true?
Very
Pain
true.
and suffering are thrust on us by circumstances over which we have no control. But
Right.
peace and joy are something we can manufacture within, which is within our control. That joy inside, that's something we can manufacture. Actually, better word is we have to discover. It is there, already is there. How do you manufacture? How do you discover? Through meditation, through yoga meditation. If you go within, you experience that divinity as peace and joy. So that is in my control. It's not external. No matter what's happening around me, no matter what's happening to me, I can be joyful because the joy is within me. I have to contact it through yoga meditation by going within. So it does help. During this pandemic, even otherwise, it does help. That is the shelter.
Swamiji, in these times of the pandemic of COVID-19, because of the norms of social distancing, most of the practitioners of yoga are not able to do that in groups as they generally did. So many organizations have now started online courses and online programs of yoga. Has Yogoda Satsanga Society also started any such programs or courses?
Very much. We are having regular online group meditations where sometimes sannyasis, sometimes devotees lead the congregation. People are sitting in their own homes,
Right.
but they are joining in practice of meditations. We are also conducting online retreats. On 30th May, we had an 8-hour silent retreat. Many people, maybe some 10,000 people participated in their own homes, but someone is leading the meditations, leading singing, etc. from here, but people are following from wherever they are. So online programs are very much in progress. Like what we are doing right now, is it not online?
Of course it is.
Yeah, you are there in Doordarshan studio. I am here in my ashram.
Right.
Yes.
Swamiji, it was an immense pleasure talking to you, and thank you very much for being here with us on our show.
Thank you too.